You must have bumped your head. That's what I'm a credit this to you bumping your head. I don't know what it is with these new guys, man, or well, these not new guys, but new money guys. New money guy. Let me tell you something, new money guy. Money comes and goes. Everybody knows that. And if you don't, then you're a fool. Money comes and goes. So you don't get attached to money. What are you doing that's going to make a difference in someone's life? That's what matters. You know, but you get these fools who think that they could break you off all type of disrespect because they're of the upper echelon of the game. They forget where they come from. Joe Budden arrogantly was poking fun at other people who came from the same place he was at. As if he came up a different route. You tried to be a rapper first. It didn't work. Everybody else did something else before they landed here. So when you get disrespectful, it's confusing to me. Because when you get this level of disrespect, do you forget where you come from? Or do I have to remind you? When you were in those strip clubs, or before the strip club, before you could afford to go to the strip club, where were you at? In the crib, running around with your homies, trying to see if you can get who got sheets of acid. Stealing from Bunny so you can go get you some dust blunts. That was you. But when you remind these people who they are, they act like they don't forget. They forget who they are because they see who they are today. So they forget the struggle. They forget where they came from, like they're almost ashamed of it. And they become these whole new people. See, Rory and Mal tried to tell you about that. I made my videos 7, 8 years ago. And right now they're still prevalent to this day because they still speak the truth. Yes, him hiding under Tahiri's bed. Everything that I've said about this man has been 100% true. Rory and Mal know best. Mal used to live with this man. See, they don't expect you to know all this stuff. They don't expect you to have any inkling about anything that's going on. None of them do. They want to change their shirt and act like new people. Joe was a hobo. He dressed like a hobo. He was going in this club, strip clubs, paying girls $1,000 for blowjobs. Well, offering. Promising he can make them a star and all that. Riding his one-hit wonder to try to get BJs. How dare you speak on any creator on YouTube. You have some nerve. You come from this busted up Scarface black leather sofa. Don't forget the other one that you had for 30 years with the tore up old wooden table. Maul was dressing better than you. Maul is at least matching. You coming from the IKEA cheap area rug that costs $69 to $79. Old as hell. That's what you coming from, Joe. So when you wanted to address, I guess you saw my video and wanted to throw a little side shot like you didn't see it, even though you're making fun of how it didn't get the views it used to get or all this stuff. I know that was directed at me. I don't get the views anymore because of sabotagers, people who are backing you, buddy, and everybody else. And you know what I do? I don't care. I still bring the fire because that's what I do. So don't make it look like it was something you did or the people decided not to watch. They're not being notified. They're being hidden. They're trying to cut you off from the streamline because we make you look ridiculous. And they're putting their money into you with all this studio equipment and all these things that they're paying for. Well, now you got to pay for it. But back then they were. But that's where you come from. Everybody in a 6 by 11 by 10 room with cameras and microphones. I could never have a show with my boys. Then turn my back on my boys. And they claim the show is bigger than ever. But this show was doing a lot better 4 or 5 years ago. Your show was doing a lot better. Y'all had way better shows 4 or 5 years ago. Now that you started getting a little bit of money and you start doing all this other things, you changed. You was anti-industry, anti-BS, all the politics, the dirty games. You was against it. You did 100-some episodes of shows, almost 200, 300 shows, talking about how the industry sucked, how they suck you dry, how they get rid of you, how they use you. You was the anti-industry man. You were the ones who was the victim. Every time we turned around, he was the victim. And another white tee talking about somebody did him wrong. And what happened, good people? They bumped their heads. Well, he bumped his head. He forgot what made him him. He forgot who he was. He's to go through a gallon of sweat in 30 minutes doing a show like he was just performing on stage. That guy. And he wants to start talking to everybody else in the world about who they are. What's up, ears? Talking about what we're not doing anymore. We know why we're not doing what we're doing anymore. We have saboteurs. But I tagged your name in it because I was speaking directly to you, Joe. That's why I tagged you. Not because, we're the number one on... You're number one on Complex. Complex chose you number one. Who gives up? Nobody that's in hip-hop, once they start using Complex, in your own words, when Complex fired you from your own show and took it from you, what did you say about that? Nobody in hip-hop. They have nobody that knows anything about hip-hop at Complex. That's what you said. Now you sitting here quoting Complex. You're bragging about Complex. Now we fast forward to today. He ain't on that black leather sofa no more. He got his money now. He's got this big white sofa, green, black, brown. He got on these weird ass glasses like he's snow skiing in the Alps or something. Got on a black leather hat looking like a complete effing weirdo. Mirror goggle glasses. This dude is more industry now than he's ever been. Manicured nails now. Look at him. Like he just came from the damn parlor. He is in the industry now. Are you a plant? Why didn't Me Too you when that girl came out and accused you of sexual harassment, which you was totally guilty of, which you admitted and said, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. And they give you money for that? You see, people, this is what I talk about every day. And you see it live right here. This is why I do this. I put the spotlight on these clowns who act like they bigger than everybody else because they get some money. They never was about it anyway. Their whole crusade was mad because they didn't blow up and everybody else did. They were envious, jealous. And now that they got their money, oh, they don't care about that no more. Oh, they don't give a damn about that no more. Oh, no, the industry all right now. It's good. No, I was tripping. It's cool. They give money to fools like this and they shut them up to make an example. Like, look, this is the guy y'all thought was a crusader. Told you he only wanted the bag. They always go for the bag. And then they get mad at me for pointing out all of the flaws that they were doing. And I was like, how could you sit there and talk about Cam or anybody and sit there and laugh when you were the main guy complaining about how the disrespect factors was. You were the main one. I've been on YouTube for a long time, Joe. Before they were giving out money. I know. Clowns. No, Nori remembers that when he had problems back in the day, Fat Joe used to help him out. Nori was shut off from New York. They cut your water off. Everybody got enough of Nori back in the day. I was the first person and only person to ever say anything about Nori exactly what he is. I'm like, I don't hate Nori, but I can never be cool with Nori because Nori is cool with everybody. So if you got a beef with somebody, Nori cool with them too. So he'll be chilling with you and then going to chill with them. That ain't good. That ain't good. And he got caught in the middle. Not once, but twice. But the second time was the charm. That's what screwed him up. Always grinding, gotta do it. I don't know no other way. No. Nori was like 300 pounds. Nori used to be 300 pounds. This is him after losing weight. He was showing people he was losing weight. Nori was like 300, almost 400 pounds. All of it from depression. Why was he depressed? Because the whole New York City turned on him. The whole New York City turned on him and said, this dude here is playing both sides of the field. And the whole Hot 97 thing happened. They banned all his music from radio. He was done in New York. He was toxic. because he was caught in the middle of the Mobb Deep, Foxy Brown thing, the Bang Bang record. Then it was Bang Bang, so I don't know who booked to have them there like at the same time doing their interviews. Then it led to, a shooting at Hot 97. Next thing you know, since it was their record, they were the ones responsible. So they took a lot of heat, and their careers is over. He fled to Miami. He got up, fled to Miami. And after he fled to Miami, what did he do then? Easy. He went to Miami and said, I'm going to do reggaeton. That's what he did. He started doing reggaeton. That's what he did. I ain't asking y'all to believe me. I'm just saying that's what he did. Yeah, that's why he moved to Miami. He got ran up out of there. He got depressed. He couldn't go to no parties, no album release stuff. People were mad at him. People wanted to get him. Dudes was going to jail over that. It was done. So he left. He reinvented himself. And he came back, lost all that weight. And he came back and people knew him again. People gave him respect again. I give people their credit. I don't never try to take credit away from people. He fought his way back and he didn't ask for a handout. He went back, reinvented himself, and came back. He changed lanes. But all of these dudes have gotten Hollywood. And they act like they forgot where they come from. And I remember when Drink Champs was popping about 3-4 years ago, and I was like, I'm really not into Drink Champs. Not like that. I'm not really into the show. Because I'm like, okay, drinking, alcohol. Everybody get drunk on the show. It's not, to me, that's not a good interview. Having everybody drunk on the show. That's just, it's not sustainable. I mean, especially if you're in advertisement, unless you're in the liquor business, why would you corner yourself into this market like that? So I would always look at it from that perspective. Then they believe the show is them. Like, we created the show, we did this to the show, we did this and we did that. It's like, dude, your show was something y'all came up with. It was something that y'all thought and looked at as incredible. And a lot of people liked it. But do you like Drink Champs now, or did you like Drink Champs then? When it first came out, when they were knocking over bottles and stuff. It used to be just tall liquor bottles everywhere. Now they done cleaned up all those liquor bottles, right? You don't really see them liquor bottles like that no more. They there, but you don't really see them no more. You see more like containers of beer and stuff like that. You don't see too many liquor bottles on the table. Guys, unless some guys come in there and they start bringing their own liquor and things of that nature, and then they make it look like someone's drinking and they really ain't drinking. But Nori done came up. So why are you creating a fake beef with Cam for no reason? I told you why. They have no content. The numbers start becoming stale, or they're just they dipping. People are not watching these shows no more. So they got to create the buzz to get people talking again. So they're going to promote, this is how they're going to promote Cameron and May's show and be like, oh, we're going to get a little back and forth with you, and then we're going to throw Joe in the mix. I got, now all of us are all in it. We're going to all, ain't nothing going to happen. So we just going to stay like this. And now everybody going to talk about it. But Joe Budden, you have some nerve to act like other creators on YouTube don't have a right to talk. Wow. They really think it's because of them. That's the funny thing about it. Dog, you really think like this is because of you or something you've done. And now you're popping because of that. That is amazing to me. That's what I'm saying. These people are weirdos. Dude, you're not popping because of you. You're popping because Karen Civil had relationships in the industry when she was helping you out. Karen Civil was getting you introduced to all these people, and you guys signed over to another person that could take your show to the next level. Drink Champs signed with Revolt, so everybody can see them. They can get the right people in there to help push their show and then take it internationally and get guests on the show that would never appear on that show ever in life. Joe Budden never wanted to interview any guests. This was his main problem with Complex. They said, Joe, we want to bring guests on the show. So you guys, I don't want any guests. He didn't want guests on the show. He got here, he didn't want any guests on his podcast. This is why we don't have guests. Now, what are they doing? Interviewing guests. He didn't do nothing to Kanye West. Nori has done way worse than Kanye West. If you thought that was the extent of what his problems were. No, Nori, his problem is he can't get out of his own way. Nori can't stop being Nori. He don't know how. He's been doing the same routine for I don't know how many years, but he's just like Irv Gotti. Now, Irv, once he got on Drink Champs, what did he do? Make a fool of himself. I don't like the way they interview. It's terrible. Nori cuts everybody off just so he can have a moment while they're trying to answer his question. And he'd be like, man, look, I'm trying to give you the answer. Oh, yeah, I'm trying to get, okay, I don't know. It's like, dude, what are you even talking for? He's answering the question and you jump right in. Because he wants the camera to be on him, focused on him. After every 10 seconds, he feels like when somebody's talking too long, explaining it, he just wants to jump in because he's like, oh, they got to know it's me. I got to show my face and just talk rhetoric. Nori's going to eventually do a lot of people wrong because he's a shiesty dude. I mean, I look at him, anybody who's friends with everybody, they're a problem. Trust me, they have no loyalty. If everybody's a friend of everybody, that person you don't trust. I told you that back then. It's the same way now. Now y'all get to see it clearly that I said 7-8 years ago, y'all thought it was crazy. And now people starting to see, like, man, I get it every year. Somebody go, man, I hear what you were saying about Nori. I get what you were saying when you said that about Nori. I'm like, that's what I'm saying. I could never be friends with a guy like that. That guy has no loyalty. He's gonna be friends with your enemy and be friends with you and be like, hey, I don't have no dog in the fight. Y'all both my friends. But yeah, they be chilling on that enemy's couch and then want to come chill on your couch. If I got beef like that with somebody, first off, I'm different. I don't ask people to be involved in something I'm in. I really don't. I don't need somebody to justify my statement. Hey, what's up, MREC? Is that you? Salute, brother. Hope you've been doing well, man. I don't know Queens Phillip like that. I really don't deal with him like that. But I told y'all the truth about Nori. Nori's like that, man. You cannot be friends with people who are friends with everybody. They have no loyalty in their bones. They'll be sitting on your enemy's couch and then be sitting on your couch. Now, how can you trust them? Nori did that twice. He know his right-hand man is in a beef, a real beef with one of his homeboys' brother. Somebody ain't here no more because of that. His brother. You know, Capone is his right-hand man. That's his rapping partner. And he cool with Mobb Deep. He cool with Prodigy and everything. Everybody used to be tight. And then Havoc loses his brother. Killer Black dies. And everything gets effed up. You should know, even though this ain't concerning you, you can't be sitting over there chilling in Queensbridge, then go back and be chilling with Capone, then come back over to Queensbridge, then go back over there with Capone. It's like, bro, you playing a very dangerous game right now. And I've told y'all this 7 years ago about that situation. 1, 2, and 3, he got caught up. So when he finally, everybody caught on to the Nori thing and started cutting him off, that's when he went to Miami. He switched up everything. He wasn't even black or whatever no more, like he pretended to be now. He was doing reggaeton. And that's what's messed up. Because Cuban Links helped him in Miami. Let me tell you something that's really screwed. Cuban Links helped this man when he was in Miami. He would have never ever did any of that stuff. All these dudes from New York tried to post up in Miami and reinvent themselves. All these East Coast dudes. That's why Miami is the way it is now. Because the real Miami dudes is like, y'all not from here. We Miamians. Like, we really from here. And they run into those people who come there from the East Coast. Well, that's the East Coast still, but they come from New York and they come there and just think they own Miami. They could run it. That's just New York attitude. They like that everywhere. They went to Las Vegas, did the same thing. Was turning it up, and it was finna get real nasty. Doing that Zab Judah Floyd Mayweather fight, that whole weekend, I ain't never seen nothing like it in my life. In any fight I've ever been to, ever. I've never seen nothing like that. Zab brought, the whole New York came to the West Coast for the first time since before, since Biggie died. They've never had an outcome like that with that many New Yorkers coming to Vegas, to the West Coast. That thing was flooded with New York. It was flooded. And New York, they was just like, we don't care. We doing what we want to do. We New York. Like, they had that kind of attitude. Every hotel, they had a problem with East Coast dudes. It was just going down all night long. All kind of disrespect. So phone calls was made. And a lot of people didn't know about this. It was people from Sacramento that drove up there, and they didn't get there till late. They was there waiting for the action. Everybody was coming in from every city, Los Angeles. Like, man, y'all got to get to Vegas, man. These New York dudes is clowning up here. They taking over. Cars was flying up there. So when Zab Judah hit Floyd in the balls, and they caused that big rumble in the ring, y'all, you don't know how explosive that was. I got Suge Knight by me. Suge Knight is right by me. I'm like, oh snap, Suge is right here. That just happened. All the hell finna break loose up in here. Because the whole place is like, what? And the whole Zab Judah section is all East Coast out. Like, they were all in one section. All the way to the ground. They had like that one section, like they all East Coast, and they was ready to fight the entire place. If anybody in the West Coast had anything to say. Stephen A. Smith was there, and he was with a baddie. I'll give him that. Stephen A., you had the baddest chick in there, and she was from the shop. Don't know what happened to you. You was black then. But man. So man, it was going up that night. Absolutely. But this is what happened. They forget what they were before. They forget. How dare you talk about other creators on YouTube because you blew up? Like, well, that's because you took the apple in the mouth. But dog, we know about you. You was this dude. You was this 300 pound. You were bigger than this. This is after you lost some weight. You was losing weight, getting back to it, dog, but we know what you was. You and Joe Budden, man, y'all done bumped y'all heads. Y'all keep thinking y'all bigger than what it is. In real life, nobody watching y'all, bruh. For real. I mean, Drink Champs, y'all done dropped off from what y'all used to be. Joe Budden podcast, y'all dropped from what y'all used to be. Now, Nori ain't say nothing slick, so I shouldn't even be attacking Nori like this. But Nori got to be called out just because of his shiesty ways too, and his alliance to Joe. And he was right there co-signing all that stuff, doing all that fake bull that they was doing on their show. Like M-Rec in here right now. M-Rec got his own show. I don't have to talk down on M-Rec. M-Rec don't have to talk down on me. Can you see everybody coexist? Everybody coexisted on here. There's billions and billions of people on the earth. You act like they can't watch 2 videos in the same day. Or 3 videos in the same day. So nobody got to stop another person from doing nothing. They could just do their thing and stay in their own lane, and they could support each other. They could do whatever. But you see that? Cuban Link helped this dude, and he know Cuban Link helped him. But he can't because he came back. Fat Joe and him, Terror Squad and all them dudes had his back. Fat Joe people had his back. And he's scared of them. So he ain't gonna never go against Joe. DJ FN and all that, dude, that's Fat Joe and them people. That's they guys. So when they had them troubles, they would go to Joe and his dudes. And when Fat Joe went Hollywood and went on the internet, he used to be the main one talking about all the people on the internet, how they talking about rap and all this. They don't know nothing about this and all this. We ain't the internet. This is what we doing in real life. That's what they would say. Then they turn around, right? And now they on the internet. Now every rapper's on the internet. And this was what I was telling Yuckmouth. I'm like, Yuckmouth, I ain't talking about you. You doing this, you ain't never had nothing negative to say about anybody on there. You came on doing your own thing. You say, okay, this the lane. Why can't I tell my own story? I ain't say you couldn't. I'm talking about those who was disrespectful. They talk down on the internet guy. Oh, they just some dudes on the internet talking. Now they all on the internet. You see? This is what we were talking about. Everybody, now they all running to the internet. But they were disrespectful before they went to they looked down on the internet guy. But the internet guy was keeping y'all hot in the streets. The internet guy was making y'all relevant and popping. We were doing your PR work when you didn't have PR. Like back in the day, like dude, like I told you, when dude was like sideways hating on me, when I had all those views, when I had my views and all that, I never was hating on nobody else. I just stayed in my lane doing my thing. But when he did it, it shocked me. And I was like, oh man, Doggy Diamonds dissed me. And I was like, coming at me. And for no reason. And I was like, it didn't even make sense. So I was like, oh man, that's crazy. So when Doggy Diamonds threw a shot at me, I was like, all right, man, I'm going to address this because it shouldn't, we brothers, like, we should never have that problem. Me and them never had another problem. We never did. So I don't know how he feels, period, even though other people say he still has sideline hating. I've never heard him say it. I've never heard him say another thing about me. Plus, he started getting, like, the views for his thing went above mine, so I don't think he would even care anymore. So no, he went on a whole rampage back in the day. This is about 5-6 years ago, talking about, well, this guy come out and say the truth behind and he getting all the views. Well, what am I doing wrong? Why am I not getting the views? I don't understand. I'm really interviewing these people. Why am I not? I'm like, oh my God, it was really bad. So exactly. I mean, Mace is cool. You know, like I don't have no problems with Mace either. Me and Mace done spoke on many of occasions. But, you know, he does his own thing. I do my thing. You know, it's no disagreements or nothing. We were supposed to do an interview one time. It didn't happen. We were supposed to do one another time. And I think I was away and we just couldn't sit down and really get nothing really worked out. So from that point on, I'm like, if you want to do an interview, hit me up, let me know. But I don't have any like ill will towards any of these dudes, man. It's just, I just stay in my lane and do what I do, but I call out bullshit when I see bullshit. I don't see MREC disrespecting people. I don't see him doing that. He stay in his lane and he does his work and he moves forward. So much love and respect to that man. And much success to him. I'm not going on. No, Jerron, you just want to troll. See, that's what most of these people, they say stuff because it's like, okay, that's how I can get them to react. Everybody been saying that. I did the truth behind videos years ago, and they've been trying to come after me. trying to come after me. Don't you realize if I was lying about all of that stuff, that today I would have been exposed by these dudes? Because these same dudes is on the internet now. All they doing is, a lot of them is rehashing the same stories I told 7, 8, 9 years ago. And now they doing it for themselves, which is cool because they just solidify all the stuff that I said. And that's how I find it, because the people, because of y'all, y'all are the foundation, y'all are the glue. We don't have any PR people working behind the scenes to try to go out and push the videos to you guys. It's basically me and just y'all from word of mouth, or just going by, seeing it, checking the videos out, getting the subscriptions, hitting the buttons. It's y'all. Y'all are the power. Y'all are the engine in the vehicle. All them cameras, lights, and stuff, none of that would be there if it wasn't for y'all. And they forget that. That's what we're pointing out. Joe Budden and Nori are two people that forget that. They think it's all because of them. They're special. Joe Budden, if you were so special, why didn't you blow up before? Why didn't you blow up before? If you were so special. Because I'm not a gangbanger, but I came up in the streets. A lot of people think because they say you come up in the streets, that means you're in a gang or you did violence. No, it's not about that. We grew up in the streets, meaning that we didn't grow up in a suburban household. We were out there in the streets where all this activity was happening. Gang fights might be over here. We playing basketball over here. We stayed in our lanes. We weren't involved in that activity, but you learn where to move, how to move, who not to be around. You know everything that happens, just like you're in the neighborhood. So you gonna hear everything. You don't have to gossip. You don't even have to know. Somebody gonna come around and be like, man, oh man, you heard what happened last night? No, man, shoot, man. They went crazy, man. Started stabbing everybody with his knife. What? Yeah. So everybody in the neighborhood's gonna know what happened anyway. It's hood activities. Everybody go to the party. It's not a gang party. It's a party in the hood. So some people in there gonna be in the gang. Some people ain't gonna be in the gang. And it's like that everywhere around the world. You keep thinking everybody's a gangbanger. That's not it. Not everybody's in gangbanging mentality. They're in survival mode. They just in the streets. They from the hood every day, just trying to eat and grind. That's what they know. Not everybody selling drugs was a gangbanger. Not everybody who was in the streets was selling drugs. People had 9 to 5. People had other hustles. Dude used to fix VCRs. That was his hustle. Yo, VCR broke, give him $25. He can go in there and fix it up. That was his hustle. He wasn't selling drugs. He was making money selling VCRs. Then he started saying, you know what? Went from fixing VCRs to I'll go ahead and sell you a used VCR, because he had some. People didn't pay the money or whatever. So he ended up owning it, selling it. Then he started saying, all right, well, I can make copies of DVDs for you. I mean, not DVDs, but VHS. So in the hood, that's how he was coming up making his money. It was plenty of ways to make money. People had their own hustles. Remember back in the day, the candy store, the candy house? You go to the house that's selling the candy. She got the penny candy, the nickel candy. Getting the gummy bears and get you a little baggie. That's what we did. So you knew what was going on in the neighborhoods. These guys forgot where they came from. They got money and said, I'm special. People in here because of me. I'm what's popping now. I'm special. So now I'm glad these dudes, they struggling. What's so funny about that? If they are struggling, help them out. Try to figure out a way to help them. Why you want to champion someone else's struggle? No, we didn't have that kind of mentality. Like, we didn't think it was cool. They made lame shit cool. Like, people laugh at the lamest and shit that ain't even like something to laugh at now. Somebody be like, look at them, they celebrating, hugging each other. Look at these fools, look how they dapping out. This grown man crying. I be like, dog, he crying because he been locked up for 7 years and ain't seen his family. It's the first time he seen his family in 7 years. Because he been locked up. So it brought him to tears. A lot of people died while that man was gone. You see, it's all about let's have some fun at somebody else's expense all the time. And y'all ain't being real with yourselves. And mainly Joe, who arrogantly opened his mouth today. So I'm glad I had to rewind and remind him exactly who he used to be. The dirty t-shirt Negro who was sleeping under his ex-girlfriend's bed trying to catch her with a man. Almost got beat up by 2 dudes. 2 professional athletes. J.R. Smith was one. J.R. Smith would have choked you out, Joe. You about to get your boy sent to jail for life to go beat down an NBA Knicks player. A New York Knicks player won. You finna have him beat up. You finna have him beat up. This is facts. He was finna have a New York Knicks player, J.R. Smith, beat up because he was with Tahiri. And they broke up. Then he gonna go in her house and sleep under her bed, waiting for her to come home. And then he fall asleep under the bed. What kind of goofy are you? These are not the men you follow behind. These are the little arrogant punk boys who were never real men. Just because you got money don't make you a man. You're using the money to make that the principle. No, you can't just change your shirt. You was a lame. Acid, PCP smoker, lame. That's all he used to do. He used to hang with the white boys all the time. Why you think he with Parks and all them dudes? That's who he hung with. People that look like them. Vlad and all them. Why you think they was with him? He hung with those type of dudes. Drug addicts, sleeping all on the floor. Have you seen the type of chicks this dude was laying up with? He didn't have the supermodel chicks no more. He had these chicks that looked like they was on that diesel. He had some 70-pound, frail, piercing all over the place, white chick, and she looked horrible. That's who Joe was with. Oh, dude, I can rewind you and remind you who you were, boy. You ain't had no IG models. Stop. Stop lying to people. You were that guy. That's who you were. Then you know what he did? He drugged that same drugged out chick. She loved him. They went on a rehab show. They went on a reality rehab show together. He's over there with this cracked out looking chick. Yeah, I don't think we're gonna make it. That's you. How are you sitting here critiquing people on YouTube? Are you crazy? Are you critiquing other people that's doing something on YouTube and talking down to them because you got a little money? Right. Adam 22, that's why they get along so great. He's used to being with those guys. How you think Rory got around him? Rory didn't show up with an application. This was his squad. Of course, because he thought it was all him. He was special. This is what led to the problems. I told you they were headed in this direction before it happened because of his ego. When Rory and them brought up the fact, and this is why I say Rory and Mal, I understand they plight, but you have to sue Joe. They just didn't feel like going through all that. But they should have sued Joe. They should have. You gave Joe exactly what he wanted. Joe, like, please, y'all didn't want to go? Go ahead, do y'all thing. See, Joe made a mistake because he couldn't afford to pay him at the time when it was like, hey, the money's coming. Joe had already spent that money. So the Spotify deal, the Cash App deal, that was exclusively to Joe. They weren't getting anything off that. The Patreon money, exclusively to Joe. Once they changed the name of the podcast to I'll Name This Podcast Later, which was a better name, and they named it to the Joe Budden Podcast with Rory and Mom, they screwed up. They screwed up tremendously. Because once they allowed that to happen, you think that idea came from Joe? That came from the people that's getting ready to rip the show off from Rory and Mal and get them out of their position. Joe's had them sign contracts, an equity deal. So they get paid, they get a piece of the show. They're equity partners. So they're not employees. They get equity. So they have a partnership. See, at the time, that was lucrative for Joe. because he didn't have enough to pay them as employees at that time. Because the show, if he'd have paid them as employees, it would have hurt the staff. It would have hurt everybody else he has to pay, and he wasn't really making that money off that. The show is rich, but he's broke. Yeah, well, that's what happens. The show is rich, he's broke. Let that add up. The show is rich, but you're broke. So this game was going on for a while. So when he did the Spotify deal, he didn't realize how much of that was gonna have to be attributed to him. He was gonna have to spend money. So he had to use his other show money to pay for the Joe Budden podcast. This is what he didn't explain to Rory and Mal. That he was taking his own money to keep the lights and everything rolling. Like, look, I was throwing my own money in this just so we can make some money and keep the show rolling. But the Spotify deal ain't working for us. Joe was right and Joe was wrong. Spotify was using him, and they were airing it at the same time. He's like, man, they putting on my podcast show at the same time they putting all these other shows on. Then they got Amy Schumer and gave her a whole bag, but you just negotiated your deal wrong. Your IPO address and everything else, he talking about he owned his IPO, he did not. He was about to sell his whole IPO for like $600,000. It was like crazy at one point. Like he was doing so much crazy stuff, he didn't even know what he was doing in business. So Karen Civil came out and decided to help him get into position where he needed to be for this deals and all these negotiations. So she was going to help him out because Joe is not business savvy at all the way he tries to appear to be smart. He's not. It's not that he's just corny. He don't know anything. He has to. His thing of learning is screwing up first and then saying, okay, I know it now. That's how he does it. But you're playing with other people's lives that's following you. Like Rory and Mal, they're like, hey, man, we put our blood, sweat, and tears into this. Like he was like, look, I got them going around the corner. They waiting to come around the corner to see me. He said this to Rory and Mal. He was like, you mean us, all of us? He was like, yeah, you know what I mean. We got them around the corner. But no, that's what he really meant. They here to see me, Joe. I'm the one that makes it go. He took the videos and put them on his personal YouTube channel. He didn't make a channel saying the Joe Budden podcast. He put it on his Joe Budden, his YouTube account. His YouTube account before Rory and Mal got there, it was nothing like it was when they got Rory and Mal. So he's using Rory and Mal on his YouTube videos all the time. Right? Rory and Mal, Rory and Mal, Rory and Mal, Rory and Mal. And just slap that on there like a sticker. Like, there you go. And Rory and Mal had to do a likeness deal. Because they're supposed to get paid, bruh. They have an equity deal. They're on that show. So Joe just don't get what the equity deal was. Now the show, the net worth of the show is much higher now. The money level is this high. So now at an equity piece, they're going to make way more money than Joe was ever expecting him to make. And he's like, oh, wait a minute. Yeah, we might got to restructure this deal. Yeah, because now you're not happy with them making millions of dollars. See, the valuation is going to be different when you go to the table when you got equity partners. So now he was able to get them to just say they quit the job and try to say they abandoned their show and their position. And this is where malls don't matter. I'm walking away. And they got their own thing. I'm still suing Joe. And in the end, they're going to realize that's what they should have done. They still can go sue Joe. They should have sued Joe. That's millions of dollars out of your family's life. And he gets to sit there with his Amiri doggone hats and them damn snow goggles he got on. And he's sitting there. He done finessed you because he done signed 2 idiots to a doggone contract. They're employees. You didn't get them no equity deal. Ish and Ice and Ash or whatever the hell they are. All them dudes. And they, believe me, I bet you they unhappy. Every week you hear one of them go off about the damn money. This dude's like, man, I still got to have a job. I still got to go to work and do this. Hell yeah, Joe making money now. Joe is trying to push himself to at least $75 million valuation. Or at least a $50 million valuation. Now, not 50 million going exclusively to Joe, but that's where he's pushing himself towards. So when he took that shot, the video I did 2 days ago, I knew he saw it. Joe Budden saw that video. And he made a smart ass remark on his show at creators, you know, about people being envious and all this, and talking about Cam and all that. So Cameron owns a production studio, bruh. Let me tell you something. Cam is a businessman. As I always told people, just because you don't see somebody don't mean they broke. Cameron has always been a businessman. He's always been in production. When he was blowing up with Dipset, this is what I tell you people about his hustle and his grind. After the G Unit came Dipset. They were the next wave and the next movement. And Dipset took over the Midwest and New York like that. That Dipset movement was huge. Yeah. Cameron had brought sponsors in. They were one of the first people to actually do deal with the independents and get paid off of independent with lack of promotion and marketing. They did their own promotion and marketing. So when they did the Koch deal, people was like, oh, he's on Koch, he ain't with a major. Ha, 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 ha. He was making more money than these artists that was on a major. Because he's looking at how much he getting paid per album. And he's like, look, if I'm moving 500,000 albums and selling 1 million records and I'm getting 2 cents a record or 5 cents a record, 50 Cent was getting paid 5 cents a record. 50 Cent wasn't getting 50 cents on a record. $50 Cent was getting a nickel. He was getting 5 cents a record. In the Club, Massacre, he's getting 5 cents a record. 50 Cent made his money off shows, tours. That's how he made his money. Marketing, advertisement. So that's how he got his money. But Cameron had all different type of businesses. He had a car. He had a partnership with Funk Flex, with the dealership, with the cars. He had, man, he had so many, oh shit. Did a lot. Cam had a lot of businesses going on. Cam had a lot of stuff popping at that time. That's no lie. Nobody can take that from Cam. Yeah, Cam was unique. That was one of his unique qualities. He brought a lot of business aspects to the game that a lot of people weren't aware of, privy to nothing. They wasn't ready for Cam. Yeah. He had that scissor. He had a whole lot of stuff going. Not all of it was going to work, but think about it. Jim Jones can't even rap. And look where Jimmy at. Like, y'all never supposed to hear about a Jim Jones. Really. And look where Jimmy at. So this is why when Jimmy flip out on Cam and all that, I'll be like, dude, you really shouldn't be saying that. Because you don't even rap, dude. Yeah, he said it's a graveyard. But Prodigy wanted to go there. He let Prodigy go there to do it. But that's what it was designed to be. A graveyard for artists who was majors and had it popping. And once their career failed, you go to Koch. So they try to sell records. That's why they offer you so much on a record. They was paying people like $1 a record, or like, man, we'll pay you this much a record, $5 a record, because they expect not to sell that many records. And when Jimmy was over there on Koch and he did Ballin', now, I didn't know if he knew that they were compromised, because Prize was his homie, you know what I'm saying? So I can go back and listen to it, but he probably did. Pac probably figured it out when he met him. Reebok deal, he's got a production studio. Like, he's not in a house. He's got an actual studio where they're actually doing this at. You know, so I'm more than happy for him. Go ahead and do his thing. He's got a cooking show. Like, that's what I'm saying. Nori be lying. Like, he's talking about some, man, this was done a long time ago. That thing with Joe. It wasn't even before your show even aired. I've never seen your show, bro, so I know I wasn't talking about you. Then who was you talking about with a cooking show? Snoop? You see what I'm saying? If you so far ahead and you focus and you looking forward, why you ain't doing what you supposed to be doing? I know. Breakfast? Nah. I gotta get up in the morning and handle business. See, I like being on time for everything. Oh man, this is where I was at. Woo, buddy boy. This is where I was at. The slum of the slums. Yep, right over there. That was the hood. $1 million dreams. And those apartments. Made it out of there. Never looked back. No, you got to look at the situation for what it is. You got a lot of people that's involved in a lot of different situations that you think because you don't see them anymore that they falling off. That's not true. A lot of people, they've gotten their money behind the scenes. Like we talked about Jamal Mashburn and all the places and the businesses that he owns. He no longer has to do anything of what everybody assumed that he should be doing. He doesn't have to. Not really. You got to look at it from a perspective of what's good and what isn't good anymore. You know what I'm saying? Like, Ice Cube. There is no more industry. All the record labels got bought up and turned into like 3 major companies. They bought up all the record labels, so there is no more industry. There's like 3 major labels that own all of music. Lear Cohen went around and became president of these companies. They bought up all these other guys. He'll take his first and second in command, make them president, then leave that company, go to another one, do the same thing. And they took over the music industry. Cared about all that. The album was inevitable for us. It's only going to build that company up and sell it and leave you high and dry. As if you only got into it for the money. Why would Jake leave Tidal? Prince was talking about, he was like, Prince wanted me to have his music. That's not what Prince wanted. Prince was going to distribute his music on Tidal. He felt you had the right idea, but not for you to just go sell it right back to him. And that's what you did. You wanted to build something up so that you could sell it off. And it wasn't about, no, oh, we got to control our own. He used that narrative to sucker people in. Like Nicki Minaj, Kanye, all these artists bought into it. Because streaming platforms is ripping everybody off. I mean, we had Blueprint already out. We had it early release, so we had it way before 9/11. But yeah, we was playing that throughout the whole time. The whole Blueprint album was a hit. But that was September. He had a good 2 months. Because in December, it was all over. It's all over. Stillmatic dropped, and it was all over. No, the New Jack City play went on now. They talked about the sequel to New Jack City already. They already had the script and everything. They blown all this stuff years ago because they don't care about black films anymore. Those $10 million movies that they used to put out, now because of streaming services, it gives us a better market to get into the film industry. You can make a film and a movie from your crib now, basically off of a phone. They got movies at the movie theater now that's been made with exclusively being made with 90% or 100% Windows XP or Windows Vista or something like that. I don't know. They making stuff now just exclusively all iPhone cameras, so you don't even need all the technology to make films anymore. Yeah, they locked up the guy that was helping everybody, Harvey. They locked him up. So, good luck getting somebody else. Harvey was doing all this to the women, yeah, but he made a lot of them rich. So, that was that. The authentic culture is dead. Well, they might say that. No. Is it taking over hip hop? Pretty much. You know, everybody, hip hop is night. All of it is hip hop anyway, so it's not like it's taking over anything. Absolutely. So on that note, I'm gonna get out of here because I gotta let this phone charge and I gotta handle some business. So thank y'all for tuning in. Ooh, now that's deep. Now that's, you said Cormega got a better discography than Nas. You must be his cousin or his next door neighbor. No, he does not. But I'm out. Like Mega.